I think a lot of people discount exactly how, maybe not thriving, but at least how much Tobago had its own things before it came to the union, right? Or at least before it was forced into the union. And what I mean is this. So, of course, it was mostly an agrarian society, right? Mostly agricultural work, right? And as we've already come to understand, the British didn't really know how to make Tobago thriving without the forced labor, right? Because, of course, now they had to pay for the labor and they didn't know how to really make that transition. And Tobago was really, you know, just kind of left behind or made to feel as if it was this administrative expense of her own doing, right? Which, of course, it was not, right? But what they did, what the produce that they did have, they would get customs duties on it, things coming in, they would be able to charge customs on, like, it was really its own island doing its own thing, right? And upon the union, much of that was taken away because now we're the country of Trinidad and Tobago. So a lot of the customs, excise duties and so were now collected in Trinidad, whereas formerly they had been collected in Tobago. So in 1924, the Trinidad Guardian reporting on Tobago at the time, right? And this was on this day in 1924, right? Which I believe is 98 years ago. Now, that would have been 35 years after Tobago and Trinidad had become one country. And so they were reporting, and basically they were reporting on business in Scarborough and saying that business in Scarborough was at a standstill, that there weren't many clerks in the stores, like the banks had closed down by this time. The banks had closed in the year before, 1923, because there just wasn't enough money in circulation to make a bank work, right? So there were two banks and both of them closed. And you know, it really was a very recession time, depressive time. In fact, the Trinidad Guardian further went on to report, well, at least they reported in the June of 1923, before this, the report that they put in on this day, they were saying that whole families were going to New York and bringing their relatives. Of course, at that time, immigration was much more relaxed than it is in today's America. But they were going to New York via Port of Spain and taking their entire families with them. If you want more Tobago-friendly content like this, you know what to do. Follow, share, subscribe, comment. I look forward to your comments and I do reply.